Okay, lesson 11, page 56. So we talked about how to solve quadratic equations. Now a word problem is given to us and we'll have to solve this using quadratics in what we have learned so far. So Kyla plans to build a uniform walkway around a rectangular bed that is 20 meters by 40 meters. There is enough material to make a walkway that has a total area of 700 meters. So they have given us the area of the walkway. What is the width of the walkway to the nearest meters? And they told us what 700 is, which is the walkway, right? So the total area of this thing would be the area of the walkway plus the flower bed. Now the flower bed is 20 times 40, which is going to be 700 plus 800, which is 1500 meters squared. So we know for sure that the whole area over here is 1500. Now we need to find the value of x though. So this is a rectangle. The length of the rectangle is 40 plus x plus x. So it's going to be 40 plus x is 2x, right? And then the width is going to be 20 plus x, so 20 plus 2x, right? So we know our length and width, and we can use that to figure out the total area. 1500 is the total area. Length times width is 20 plus 2x times 40 plus 2x. We'll just expand it. So 20 times 40 is 800 plus 20 times 2x is 40x. And then 2x plus 40 is 80x. Plus 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Okay? And then these are like terms, so we'll add them. It'll be 800 plus 120x plus 4x squared. We'll move all the terms to one side. It'll be negative 1500. So we'll have 0 is equal to negative 400 plus 120x plus 4x squared. We can rearrange this. It'll be 4x squared plus 120x minus 700. Now we solve for x. The only thing that we were supposed to do was figure out the total area and then make this equation. Then we solve for x. So there were 3 steps to this. The third step is longer. So in this case, when we have a coefficient that's coefficient of a that's not equal to 1, we factor the greatest common factor. So we'll factor out the 4. 120 divided by 4 is 30x. Minus 700 divided by 4 is 175. Divide 4 on both sides. We get 0 is equal to x squared plus 30x minus 175. So we'll do product sum factor. Product is negative 175. Sum is 30, and our factors will be 35 and negative 5. Now, like if you are not able to find the factors, you can always use quadratic formula as well to find the value of x, right? So in this case, it's going to be x minus 5 times x plus 35 is equal to 0. So x will be equal to 5 and negative 35. Do you guys remember extraneous solution? So extraneous root is when x is negative. In a real life example, we cannot have negative length, right? So this will be extraneous. Make sure you write that as well. This is your extraneous solution or root, and your answer will be x is equal to 5 meters. And they just wanted us to find the width of the walkway, which is x, and that's 5. Questions? the next question is, a widescreen TV has a diagonal measure of 42 inches. The width of the screen is 16 inches more than the height. So we don't know what our height is. Let's say it's h. The width is 16 plus the height, because it's 16 more than the height, so you can write it as height plus 16 or 16 plus height. And the diagonal is 42. Now, this is a right angle triangle, right? So we can use Pythagorean theorem for this. It'll be h squared plus h plus 16 squared is equal to 42 squared. So h squared plus, we'll expand that. It'll be h squared plus 256 plus 32h is equal to 1764. This is equal to this because h plus 16 times h plus 16, we just distribute it. H squared plus 16h plus 16h plus 16 squared, which is 256. That's how I got that. Now we'll move everything to one side. Negative 1764 both sides. Guys, so it'll be 2h squared plus 32h minus 754 is equal to 0. Now I can factor out the 2, right? Divide both sides by 2. h squared plus 16h minus, this was 1508. So divide that by 2 is 754 is equal to 0. Now, product sum factor won't really work over here. So we'll do A is equal to 1, B is equal to 16, and C is equal to negative 754. Okay. Now we'll use our quadratic formula. X is equal to negative B, which is 16, plus minus B squared, so 16 squared, minus 4 times A times C, which is negative 754, over 2A, which is 2 times 1. So solving that, we get negative 16 plus minus. Put all this in the calculator, and you should get 3,272 over 2. Now, you need to convert it into, like, it doesn't really say if they want mixed radical, exact value, or decimal. So it'll be easier for us to just put this in the calculator and find out the value in the decimal form. So just remember, it'll be negative 16 plus root 2, 3,272 over 2, or negative 16 minus root 3,272 over 2. Okay, then you put in the calculator, it'll be 20.6 inches or negative 36.6 inches. So this is your extraneous, so you'll cancel this because height cannot be negative in a real world example, and that's your answer, 20.6. Now, in this case, I wrote or because you cannot have two answers for this since there is an extraneous root, right? But if a question was just given to you and you were finding the value of x, you'll write both the values, okay? But in the real world example, you'll have extraneous. Good? Okay, so first question over here is similar to question 1 that we did, and question 2 is also similar to question 1. I want to do question 3 together. So the Peace Tower in Ottawa is 90 meters. If an object is thrown downwards at 5 meters per second from this height, the time t seconds the object takes to reach the ground can be found by solving this quadratic equation. determine the time to the nearest tenth of a second for the object to hit the ground. So this one, you don't have to make an equation. So you're basically solving for the value of t, right? So t will be equal to, you have your a, b, and c. So it'll be negative b plus minus b squared plus, minus 4ac over 2a, which is negative 4.9. So it'll be 5 plus minus root 1789 over negative 9.8. So you'll have two values for this, negative 4.8 or 3.8. This is extraneous, so we cancel it, and this will be our answer. So when the equation is given, the questions are easy, because all you need to do is use quadratic formula, product sum factor, or graphing to figure out what your answer is. Okay. Same thing over here. The equation is given to you, and you're supposed to figure out how far the soccer ball from the goal line is when it is kicked, and how far the soccer ball traveled before it hits the ground. So you're supposed to graph it and find the answer to this. So this one would be easier to do using a graphing calculator, right? So let's put it in our graphing calculator. y1 is equal to negative 0.06 x squared minus, it's plus 3.168x minus 35.34. Graph it. I cannot see the graph, so I'll have to change my window settings. Let's make it to negative 40, and then 40, and then negative 40 again, and 40. Let's graph that. So now I can see my graph. The thing is, it won't be negative, right? So I don't have to look at the negative aspects of it. You can just change it to 0, change this to 0 as well, and then graph it. This is what it looks like. So they're asking us, how far is it from the goal line? So we'll have to find the first intercept for this. So second trace 0. Also, the window setting, let's change it to -1 so that it's easier for my graph to find the value. So second trace 2. This is second trace 2. This is my left bound. This is my right bound, and this is my guess. So it's 16.009. So it'll be x is equal to 16 meters for the second one before it hits the ground. So right now, over here is 16 before it hits the ground. So it's going to be this, and we'll have to subtract it from the second intersection. So we'll do second trace 2 again. We'll go over here, and this is my left bound. This is my right bound, and this is my guess. So it's 36.79. Nearest tenth will be 36.8 minus 16, because that's when it's in the air, right? So it'll be 20.8 meters, which is 21. So when the equation is given, it's easier. These questions are where you'll have to make the equation and then find your answers. So try these.